And you'll find almost the same words in Matthew chapter 1, verse 21 for my text for this morning's second sermon. In chapter 7, part B of the verse I missed it in, but I'm going to read all of it. Chapter 7 of Isaiah. In the middle of your Bible is Psalms, and if you get to Psalms, then go toward the back and you'll find that there's Proverbs and Ecclesiastes and Songs of Solomon, and then Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 7 and verse 14. Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. And shall call his name Emmanuel. The almost same words are in Matthew's Gospel, chapter 1, verse 21. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins. That's my text for this morning, and I want to talk about more than a few words. More than a few words. The announcement was made, and they handed out cigars, and some of them wouldn't take cigars, so they gave them bubble gum. And in no uncertain terms, Father walked down the hall, crying out and almost yelling at the tip of his voice, "It's a boy! It's a boy." Something about that cry suggests a sort of heaviness in the voice of the crier. As you hear the baby crying, laying in mama's arms, just having been delivered, and mama too said, "It's a boy." There have been special births down through the years. And every time there's been a special birth, somebody's made an announcement about that birth. It's a boy. In this case. Oh, I know some of you are not boys, and you wanted me to say it's a girl, but I'm not going to say it's a girl today. It's a boy. It's a boy. We'll get a girl on Mother's Day or something, but not today. It all started, by the way, with a young lady named Eve. Eve gave birth to a son and named him Cain, and then another son and named him Abel, and a third son and named him Seth. And she reported, "It's a boy." And can't you see Adam walking around with his shoulders lifted and his eyes filled with sparkle and lifted his voice as he cries out, "I don't have any cigars." They don't make them yet. It's a boy. It marked the glee in the voice of Sarah and Abraham when they announced that Isaac was about to be born as the hope of Israel. And the announcement was, "It's a boy." It's the same assurance, Brother Hollins, that Moses had when his mother saved the little boy in an ark made out of bulrush and tar. And she nursed him for Pharaoh's own daughter and cried out, "It's a boy." It's the answer that Hannah had when Hannah said she had conceived and prayed and bare a son and called him Samuel. And Hannah said, "Because I asked him of the Lord, it's a boy." There are only a few words when most of the boys are born in the Bible. The Bible only says about them that their mothers conceived them and gave birth to them as a boy. And then the story ends. But not Jesus. God was not through yet. For the hope of the world, the promise of salvation, the balm of Gilead, the bright and morning star, the lily of the valley, Shiloh, the rose of Sharon was yet to come. And when he came, the announcement would be made, "It's a boy," He seems to have been delayed in coming. In fact, the Bible said that after about thousands of years after the first announcement, and then not a word for 400 years, and then all of a sudden, when the time was right, he came. And Blackman, when he came, there was a show there was a major production put on. The angels were singing, and another angel was flying around. The shepherds were out taking care of their flock by night. The sheep were lowing, the cows were mooing. And Joseph was there by Mary's side to announce, "It's boy. It's a boy." He was sure that Jesus had finally showed up. They waited for years, and then all of a sudden, there he showed up. And whenever Jesus shows up, can I tell you, he'll also show out. And he showed up that night. And the stars were lit in the sky, and the wise men saw them in the east and decided they'd follow the star, and they followed the star. And can I correct one of those myths that you have about the wise men? They didn't show up that night Jesus was born. In fact, Blackman, you know what the book says? The book says that he was born, when the shepherds got there, he was a little baby in a manger. But by the time the wise men got there, he was a little boy in a house. It's a boy. When everywhere had been waiting to celebrate the consolation of God. They've been waiting ever since Adam and Eve ate the wrong piece of fruit. Yes, sir. And one day God laid his hands on a teenage girl. And by the way, teenagers, that ain't no excuse for you rushing out and getting pregnant. God laid his hand on this little girl who didn't know a man. And even if you are going to rush out and be pregnant, do it without a man. Oh, listen to the right there. He showed up as a heavenly visitor and laid his hands on this little girl and said to her, "Hail, thou art highly favored. The Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women." And I don't know of anybody more blessed than the one that brought me into this world. Amen. Fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favor with God. And behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb and bring forth the son, and shall call his name Jesus. He shall be great and shall be called the Son of the Highest, and the Lord God shall give unto him the throne of his father David, and he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever. And of his kingdom there shall be no end. For you see, this son that was to be born required more than a few words. Look first at the prophetic word that came. Jesus was going to come, and Moses said, "Her seed shall bruise his head." Isaiah had said that his mother would be a virgin. Micah had said that he would be born in Bethlehem. And when Jesus came, it was upon that Bethlehem hill that his mother gave birth in a lowly stable. Yes, sir. Because there was no room in the inn. You know, our young boys are in trouble in our world, and I believe that one of the reasons they're in so much trouble is because we don't have any room in the inn. I don't mean Motel 6 or Carlton Ritz. I don't mean Marriott or the Hilton.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But no room on the ends of our hearts. And we men in particular, but women as well, have to make room for these young ones that are coming along. And unless we make room for them, they'll find their own way. And for the purpose, when they find their own way, they'll make mistakes that they didn't have to make. My father used to say, learn from me and you won't have to knock your head up against a stone. But if there's no room in the end, where are our young boys going to learn from? Where are our children going to get the lessons that they need? Where are they going to find out that drug abuse and alcohol misuse and gun violence and gang activity, it's just not going to work. It's not going to work.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. I heard you. That young boy out there said, but I make a lot of money selling drugs. I bet you do. But when you end up in jail, don't call me to bail you out. Jesus came to be here among us. And he came to save his people from that. He would be Emmanuel, God with us. He would be named Jesus because he would save his people from their sins. Malachi said there'd be a forerunner named John who would prepare the way. Matthew said that when Jesus came, he would be named Jesus because of what he would do. He would be the ultimate fulfillment of the promise of God. He would be of the Holy Spirit, a heavenly child, adopted by Joseph with an earthly mother. The wise men would get word about it, and the shepherds would come rushing, and they'd leave their sheep at night and run into town. They got to see this child. There have been babies born every day, but not like this one. The angelic choir sang. I mean, like Calvary's angels. They stood here and sang. Can you imagine an angelic choir singing? I don't know if angels have wings or not, but if they had them flapping their wings. I don't know if they wear halos on their head, but they're shining halos if they had them on their head, and they'd announce, it's a boy. There are more than a few words when they made the announcement. Yes, sir. I like the way that John writer put it. John says, and there are many other signs truly that Jesus did in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book. But these are written that ye might believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that believing you might have life through his name. And then he went on to say, and this verse blew me away. And there are also many other things which Jesus did. If they should be written, every one of them, listen carefully. I suppose that even the world itself could not contain the books that are written about him. They said that Martin Luther King Jr. read every book in his elementary school library. How many of you read? Never mind. No lying today. No lying. I mean, but imagine there's 100 books in BYU's library. 100 of them. How long would it take you to read all 100 books? But suppose there's 1,000 in the library. How long would it take you? What if there are 10,000? What if there are 100,000 books? But listen to what he says. He said that if everything that Jesus did was written down, there would not be room enough to hold all of the books that would be written about it. I like that because there's one book that has been it has been published ever since it's been written, and it is the bestseller on the market. And you ought to buy it and read it. Can I go down to Oklahoma for a minute? You from Oklahoma? Your daddy's from Oklahoma. Your daddy's from Mississippi, same place. Oklahoma, Mississippi, same place. Can I go back home for a minute? Listen, buy your copy of the book and read it. Listen carefully, from kibble to kibble. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know that word? Kibble to kibble. This is the kibble, and that's the kibble. Oh, Lord Jesus. I ought to be ashamed of myself. I is an educated man. And I ought to be ashamed of myself using words like kibble to kibble. John says that if everything that was said about Jesus was written down, Brother Smells said, there wouldn't be enough room to contain and hold all of the books that should be written about him. When a person dies, all of us want to hear the last words. We think they're going to say, you can have this. Isn't that us? We want to hear their last word. But you know what? Most people's last words don't matter for much. What really matters in life is between 1946 and 2014, that little dash that's in between. And that's what really counts. What did you do while you were alive? How did you act when you had an opportunity? Did you say the right things when you could say them? Did you act in the right way when you could act? Did you do what you could when you could? That's what matters in terms of life. You know the last words of Jesus are worth noting. He didn't say one last word, Sister Magdalene. He said 7 of them. He said, Father, forgive them. He said, today thou shalt be with me. He said, woman, behold thy son. He said, my God, has thou forsaken. He said, I said. He said, it is finished. He said, into your hands I commend. It's more than a few words. Moses was born to save Israel from Egyptian bondage. Joshua was born to give the children of Israel into the promised land. David was born to kill Goliath, the lion and the bear. Elijah was born to whip Ahab, Jezebel, and 854 prophets. Daniel was born to show you that a hungry lion can't eat a man of God. But Jesus, Jesus, when Jesus was born, he was born to change the world. He was born to turn this world upside down. He was born to make a difference. I just want to tell you about my Jesus. Can I brag on him for that? He woke me up this morning. Started the blood running long in my veins. Close to him right now. Put lying in my feet. Get me to get up and run on and see what the end's going to be. Can I brag on my Jesus? When I get hungry, he's food to eat. When I'm thirsty, gives me water to drink. When I'm homeless, he provides for me. When I'm naked, I got clothing that he gives me to wear. Whatever I stand in need of. Here's what the book says. And the book said, he's the lily of the valley. He's the bright and the morning star. He's the rose of Sharon. He's called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting God. I'm talking about my Jesus and I'm praying on. Oh, yeah. And Brother Lang, they decided one day they were going to get rid of him. Yes, sir. And you know what they did? They caught him and locked him up in chains and rolled him up that hill to Golgotha and nailed him to that old rugged cross. And when they nailed him between two thieves. One on the that's the left side. One on the left side and one on the right side. Nailed him right in the middle. And they thought he ought to die. But he didn't die until he finished what he came to do. He didn't die until he had forgiven all of us of our sin. He didn't die until the thief had a place in the kingdom. He didn't die until his mother was taken care of. He didn't die. He didn't die until he acknowledged that it was dark in this world. And I've come to tell you, it gets mighty dark sometimes. But you ought not ever give up. It gets mighty dark sometimes. But you ought not ever quit. It gets mighty dark sometimes. But you ought not sit down by the banks of the river. It gets mighty dark sometimes. But I've decided. I can just talk for me. I've decided that I'm going to run on and see what the end is going to be. I know there'll be rough places along the road. Sometimes I won't get along with the boss or the co-workers. Sometimes my wife get on my nerves and the children. Lord help me, Lord help me, Lord help me. But sometimes this church. Louisa, I've decided that when my shoe hurts the cone on my feet or the bundle, whatever it is, I've decided I'm gonna keep my shoe on and run on in it. I've decided that when it gets tough and I don't know where to turn, that I'm going to turn to the one for whom they said so many words that there's not enough room for all the books that will be written about. I got to quit now. So. Oh, there ain't no ball game today. I don't have to quit. But there are 9 things I want you to remember. You got your pencil? You got your bulletin, your piece of paper, 9 things that I want you to remember about why Jesus came. Number 1, he came to forgive us of all of our sins, though yesterday, today, and forevermore. And listen, Brother Rose, if you don't believe he'll forgive you, you just try. So he came first of all, and then he came mayor, he came to comfort us when we're in an uneasy and restless place. And you're going to get there sooner or later. If you haven't been in any rough places yet, you live on. And then thirdly came Mario, he came to walk with us in times of darkness. And you know, that's the greatest comfort you ever wanted. is to know that somebody's there with you. You're not by yourself when you're in the middle of your thought. Came to be a friend, number 4, when you're all by yourself. The devil's number 1 trick is to get you thinking you're by yourself. He told Elijah one day, he said, ain't nobody here but you. And Elijah went and told God that same lie. And God said, don't come lying to me. I still got 7,000 men. You're not alone. He came to strengthen us when we get weak. You know how your muscles are. Yeah, I don't care how much you lift your weight. If you quit the flab, after a while you won't be. But he's strength in times of weak. He's your guide. The truth, our life of trouble. I'm going to hit the road after a while, and when I hit the road, listen, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, now, Lord, I've been driving, but they changed the speed limit to 70, so I'm going to leave it in your hands. And Bonnie, when I get down the order, I'm going to let God guide me through there. He'll encourage you. He'll encourage you when you're ready to give up. He'll conquer death. Yes, sir. Can I tell you that the last enemy that all of us will one day have to face is death? Oh, I heard you. You said, well, I'm not going to die. The only reason why you don't die is that Jesus come back before you do die. Otherwise, there's an old man and an old woman coming to every one of your house, and the only reason why they don't get there is because you die before they come. And then the last reason why he came, and I'm going to quit, is he wants you to enjoy eternal heavenly peace. Jesus says, this peace that I give you, the world didn't give it to you. And the world can't take it away. And this joy that I had, Lord Jesus, I promised I was going to quit. This joy that I had, the world didn't give it to me. And the world can't take it away. That's why I sing every chance I get. The choir don't like me to sing, but I sing anyhow. I sing anyhow. Joy to the world. The Lord is coming. Oh, hallelujah. Amen. I know you don't think I can sing. You come check me out in the shower sometime. Amen. How about you? More than a few words. When you were born, they didn't have a whole lot to say about it. They said, oh, you be pretty. Isn't she beautiful? Isn't she? But that's not all they said. But when Jesus was born, little baby Jesus, you can come and become a part of this congregation by giving your heart to Jesus Christ and deciding to let him be in charge of your life. If you need him, you can come just the way you are, and he'll handle every problem, every need that you got. He's able to take it. How about you? By that